This game, what do you first off, is it noon every single year? It is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? I feel like this should be a night game.
No, I don't think it should be a night game because it's at the state fair. I like the noon part. It's kind of like noon. I'm sure it's had some 3:30 starts. I love this game because it's like a national game on ABC. This specific week, the second week of October, used to be my all-time favorite week of the year every year. Miami would play Florida State. Texas would play Oklahoma. Bama was usually off before they played Tennessee. And then you had Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, LSU. It was like always a great year. And there's a really good slate this week, even though a lot of those games aren't being played. I think they should keep it at 12. I've heard people say, and maybe this is something we see when they come to the SEC, that it kind of makes sense to play the game on campus at some point because, like it's just an odd setup, I guess. It always cracks me up.
Florida do.
Yeah, but okay. See, have you been to like a state fair?
I want to say yes. I think I've been to the Georgia. Is the Georgia State Fair in Perry?
I think so.
I've been to that.
Okay.
I can imagine a football game being played there.
So the state fair in South Carolina is it's outside of Williams-Brice. All the parking for Williams-Brice is the state fairgrounds.
Okay.
And I'll never forget 2008. It was South Carolina's got LSU coming to town and Boys and Men's playing the next night at the state fair. And I'm like, what in the actual fuck is life right now? What is happening?
I'll be
there. That's right. On bended knee. So this part's always funny to me because they'll all the B-roll, it's like the most Americana shit ever. Everybody comes out with what I refer to as a Six Flags body, where it's you know what I'm saying? Where they have everyone's built like Garfield the cat and they have a front butt. And it's usually somehow being lassoed together or around from a pair of Levi's that's way too big for anyone else. And everyone's always eating funnel cake. There's fucking funnel cake and deep fried carburetors.
Oreos.
Yeah, also that.
Carburetors, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so this is 12 p.m. ABC, number 12 Oklahoma versus number 3 Texas. Texas currently a 6.5-point favorite, total 60.5.
Yeah.
This is the 43rd time in this matchup that both teams have been ranked. I would say Texas has a little more big game experience this season with the road victory over Bama. Oklahoma hasn't really been tested this year, but advanced metrics wise, their offense and defense are very good.
Yeah.
There's a revenge factor in this game. Last year, Texas won 49-0. Dylan Gabriel also didn't get to play in that game, so this is his first Red River Rivalry. Quinn Ewers, obviously, the story has been about him this year. He's been awesome. 66% completion rate, almost 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick, another 5 on the ground. Dylan Gabriel actually has probably even better numbers. 75% completion rate, 1,600 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 2 picks, 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
As good as both of these offenses are, both defenses have been really good too. This is going to be a really good game. Analytically, I think it kind of paints the picture that Oklahoma likes to kill you through the air, but Texas is top 15 in defensive pass success rate allowed. So I think that both offenses are going to score in this game, but I think Texas has a little bit more power on defense than Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma will cover the spread, but I'll take Texas to win 35-32.
Yeah. 35-32. Okay. So yeah, this is one of those games that has the 5.5-point spread, which I hate. Everyone knows that. If you listen to the podcast for however many years, everyone knows that.
Well, it's 6.5 now, which is good.
Which is interesting because it moved up. It was also 6.5 last year going into this game.
Ooh.
And yeah, and this has also been, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this has been a game, especially in the last 2 years, where it has really dictated the rest of the season. In the last 2 years, especially, like 2 years ago, you had Caleb Williams come off the bench and had this crazy comeback. I wonder where Sark and this program is then or now, I guess, even more so than I wonder if there's a little bit more staying power from a fan base standpoint, and how people view them if they win that game a couple years ago. I don't know. I think that Oklahoma has been like really impressive. Like for whatever reason, you look at that logo and that brand, the fact that they're able to fly under the radar is shocking to me. And they've been able to do that. And like you look at whether you want to look at like their resume and like, all right, what's the strength of schedule for this team? Like Texas has a top 20 strength of schedule. Oklahoma's 82nd, right? Like they haven't played anybody. They went on the road and they struggled mightily with Cincinnati. And like I think last week they put up like 40 points in the first half. There's games this year, albeit against inferior competition, but there's been games this year where it's like they might score 100 points. Like I genuinely thought, I'm like at one point I think against someone early on, they I think it might have been SMU or somebody. I mean, they put up 28 points in the first half and like almost, and I think they had like 35 by 12 minutes in, or like 12 minutes in the second quarter. Like they put up some points. I think Texas is built more similarly, not good at that word, to a college football playoff contending team than OU. And that could just be because I'm biased towards Texas, which I admittedly am this year. I'm very high on Texas. But the way the defensive line plays, the way that this team is able to get out there, we haven't had a situation at all this season where Texas has not only had a letdown, where they've been close to a letdown. Maybe the first half against Wyoming, coming off a huge win against Bama, but they pull away like by a ton in the second half. Even the shit with Kansas. Kansas is a ranked team coming to play them last week. The only reason they were even scoring was kind of like fluky plays in the first half, and then they pull away from them. Like anytime a team had over 300 yards of offense or 300 yards rushing and passing, that's crazy to me. Texas and Ole Miss both did it last week. Like, you have to just get through this game if you're Texas. Like, because I do wonder the psyche for the program. If they don't win this game, are they going to start allowing the outside noise in of like, okay, you do what Texas always does, and you blew your big shot, and does that lead to another letdown after that?
I think they're in the right headspace mentally. I mean, had you seen signs last week of them kind of going through the motions against Kansas ahead of this spot? Maybe you'd be a little bit concerned that they're putting too much into this game, but they just went out last week and just took care of business easily. And I think they're rolling right now. I do think that it's going to be a high-scoring game because it just seems like this game always is, aside from last year when Oklahoma didn't score any points. So I think Oklahoma could probably get inside that number, but I think I like Texas to win the game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas, and I'm going to take them because I need them to win. I want them to win. And I will always pull against RJ Young, but I'll take Texas 41-37.